volume, and other clues are collectively known as body language. Body language isn't always as clear as spoken language, but how it's interpreted can play a big role in how someone relates to and interacts with others. It's a silent orchestra, microexpressions, brief displays of emotion that an individual tries to conceal. Hand gestures and posture register in the human brain almost immediately, even when someone is not consciously aware of them. These moments of recognition, however brief, can have long-lasting repercussions for how an individual interprets others' motivation, mood, and openness, as well as how their own inner self is perceived. Unfortunately, certain mental health disorders, particularly neurodevelopmental disorders like autism, may make it more challenging to notice and respond to the messages conveyed by body language. How to read people. Body language is a vital form of communication, but most of the time, one's own displays of body language, as well as their reading of others, happen without conscious awareness. When someone is waiting for a blind date to arrive, for instance, they may nervously tap their foot without realizing that they're doing it. Similarly, when a person shows up, the waiting party may not consciously perceive that their date appears closed off, but their unconscious mind may pick up on crossed arms or averted gaze. Luckily, with knowledge and a little practice, it is possible to exert some measure of control over one's own body language and to become more skilled at reading that of others. Following are some examples of body language, and what each example communicates to other people. Arms crossed over the chest. This example of body language can indicate that a person is being defensive. It can also demonstrate that the individual with crossed arms disagrees with the opinions or actions of other individuals with whom they are communicating. Nail biting. Nail biting is a type of habit that can demonstrate stress, nervousness, or insecurity. Oftentimes people bite their nails without even realizing it. Hand placed on the cheek. This example of body language can indicate that a person is lost in thought, or is considering something. Sometimes when the hand is on the cheek, it is accompanied by a furrowed brow, which further demonstrates deep concentration. Tapping or drumming the fingers. Finger tapping demonstrates that a person is growing impatient or tired of waiting. Head tilted to one side. A tilted head demonstrates that a person is listening keenly, or is interested in what is being communicated. Touching the nose. When someone touches or rubs their nose, it can signify a number of things. It can be a signal of disbelief or rejection, or it can also demonstrate that an individual is being untruthful about what they are saying. Rubbing the hands together briskly. This can show that a person's hands are cold. It is also a way of communicating that an individual is excited for something, or is waiting in anticipation. Placing the tips of the fingers together. Steepling of the fingers, or placing the tips of them together, is a demonstration of control and authority. This type of body language can be used by bosses or authority figures to subtly demonstrate that they are running things. Palms open, facing upward. An open palm is a sign of openness and honesty. It can be a show of submission. In older days when many people carried weapons, this was used to show that they were not holding one, or of sincerity and innocence. Some people open their palms during worship at church as a sign of submission and respect. Head in hands. Yet another example of body language that might mean a number of things. The head in hands move can demonstrate boredom, or it might show that a person is upset or ashamed and does not want to show their face. Locked ankles. When the ankles are locked together, either while standing or seated, it can communicate nervousness or apprehension. Standing up straight, shoulders back. This position shows that a person is feeling confident of him or herself, and is often accompanied with walking at a brisk stride. Stroking of the beard or chin. When one strokes the chin, he or she is communicating deep thought. Such a motion is often used unintentionally when an individual is trying to come to a decision about a matter. Pulling of the ear. People often pull the lobes of one of their ears when they are attempting to make a decision, but remain indecisive. This motion demonstrates the inability to come to a conclusion.